Where's my ticker? Anyway, I don't got it all together today. Let's just go live. Are we still live? I don't even know. Oh, yeah, we are. Okay. All right. How can I see the chat? Oh, here we go. Hey, guys. I don't know if you guys can see me or not, but I am on here. So, let me turn this down. I'm in the car. I wanted to come in here today just to chat a little bit because I know I've been doing this kind of every day on my way to do my pickup. So I was like, let me come in today and do another one with you guys since I have a few minutes and I had some time to chat with you guys. So what did I want to talk about today? I mean, it's just so much. First of all, my hair, because I've been talking about that a lot lately. So I've told you guys, I've been natural and all that stuff, and I'm just like on this natural kick, on this natural journey. Not saying I'm gonna be natural forever, because y'all know I like to be glam. But right now, that's what I'm going for, and that's what I'm doing. And then I just posted like a skincare routine that I'm doing because I'm trying to do less makeup as well. I'm still doing my lippy, but I'm doing like less, you know, over the top stuff. I don't know. 2026 just arose that in me. And so that's just what we are doing right now. Trying to keep it authentic. Even the page, like not being so strategic and just kind of just jumping on here and doing chit chat with you guys as opposed to doing like very structured. If you guys look at my old Tuesday with Nico's, they're very structured. They're very like Wendy Williams Hot Topic ish, Kim Pyre ish, Layla, you know all those chat channels. Very Tasha K, very who are my other favorites? T, I can forget her name, something T, like those type of pages, those old school those Generation X pages. So I'm trying to create my own little lane, and that's why I renamed it to like mic drops, because these are not organized. These are just me hopping on, yip yapping, yap yapping. And so you guys enjoy that. Stay tuned. It's your girl Nico Nicole, and of course, as always, this is Give This Girl a Mic. I hate that ticker says cash out. I do want to change it, but right now I don't know if I could change that. But I did want to, let's just jump into the first topic that I did have on hand here, because I was going to flesh out this today, but I didn't end up doing it, so I just jumped on. I was watching iShowSpeed in Africa. So I watched so many of him. So first of all, why everybody knew about him and I didn't. I didn't know he was like this popular. I heard about iShowSpeed before, of course. And I seen him like racing Sha'Carri Richardson and racing, the greats. And I never seen him like doing like, I didn't know he was like a Twitcher or like doing this big whole overseas tour. So apparently him going overseas and showing the world what Africa looks like is really redefining what Africa is to the world, which I think is such a beautiful thing. Like at the end of the day, like Africa has had such bad press over the years, especially with the Christmas, they went over there and said, Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. No pun intended. Like, not, that's how they were treating the situation. And so it's just nice to see a refreshing perspective in him. He's been to Senegal, Morocco. He's in Nigeria today. I've just been enjoying it. And it's like, you can tell he felt more. When I first seen, so I watched the Algeria one first, because everybody was talking about him in Africa, and I didn't really, it's the things that gets you clicking sometimes is the rage bait stuff. So I saw that it was like rage bait about him in Algeria and how they were racist. So I was like, okay, let me go see it for myself, because you know how sometimes they'll say that and then you'll watch it and it be fine, not fine, but it doesn't be like as deep as people make it out to be. So I thought, let me see what it is. And okay, I will say this. Not saying Algeria is right. They're obviously wrong, but it was their club. And if you know soccer, clubs be like that. Like my husband, he loves Arsenal. And I remember him showing me videos of like different players from France who play on different teams getting like thrown bananas at them. They made like some of the black people cry. Like this is not just Algeria clubs. And it's not right. It's definitely wrong. But this is like the clubs in soccer overall, which is why it's hard to bring soccer over to America. Maybe not anymore, because Donald Trump trying to make America great again and everything, whatever that means. But prior to that, like it would be hard to bring that kind of sport over to America when you're not respecting Black American people. So I think that's why it's been a hard transition to bring it. Like we have one in Jersey. We had the Red Bull Stadium where there's Arsenal. The team Arsenal is here, and they do like games here sometimes. But it's not big. It's only big in like one part of the city, and that's the Portuguese side of the city. The rest of the city or the rest of the state, they don't give a damn about no soccer. So most of us, we are going to see the Jets game or the New York Knicks game or the what's the team that Jay-Z own now? The Barclays Center, to see those people, the Nets, who used to be in Jersey. So obviously that's still our team at heart. So that's where we're going. We see the New Jersey Devils, hockey. It's not really about no soccer. So, but soccer has religiously been a very racist and degrading sport for Black people. So with prefacing that, overall, I didn't watch every single second of like that whole stream. It was like 2-3 hours, but I fast forwarded and like watched when he was talking or doing something interesting. And he got a lot of love in Algeria. He was like really nice. He had like a few times where it was a little uncomfortable for him, like when he was exhausted and like nobody was offering food or water, and like they were just kind of like do your dance, monkey, like basically like want him to flip and do all these tricks, and he's like, I'm exhausted, I can't be doing flips and tricks right now, like this is not cool. Like my body doesn't feel right. He tried to do a flip and his legs literally just gave out, but they were still pushing him to do it more and more and more, which I didn't like because I'm like, dang, like they don't see this kid. So I looked up his age and I was like, he's 20 years old. Like he has, of course, a lot of stamina and energy, but at the end of the day, he's still a young buck. He's still a young guy. So to put him in a position where he has to be always performing, it was kind of sad to see. But the cool thing is I do really like his security guards. They take care of him, and I love that for him because you can really tell that they take good care of iShowSpeed. And so, what else? Oh, so when he was in Algeria, the first hour or two, it was lovely. Like he went, he traveled, he was getting by the like ambassadors and the embassy people were taking him around. He saw a mosque. They were really like nervous about like their reputation, and they really wanted to have a good reputation. They were like, you like our country, right? How do you feel about our country? And I just think it's crazy because they did all that work to give him a good impression, which he had up until he got into the soccer field. And then when he got in there, they just started throwing water bottles at him. They were like, oh, it's because they don't like filming. But it's like, you're being filmed and I am a streamer. I don't make money if I don't stream. You don't get no publicity for your country if I don't stream. So of course he's not going to stop streaming. And the security guards are trying to tell the cameraman to put the camera down. But of course the cameraman, he's probably under the instructions of like, you better not touch that camera unless I say so, speed. So of course he's not going to touch the camera at all. So with all that going on, you have like a very intense situation where they had to kind of figure out what to do in that situation, and they decided to just get him out of there, which was the safest thing to do. Actually, Speed got himself out there because the security guards was like, oh no, just come. I think they were going to put him in a box and let him watch the game from the box. But he was like, why? I don't want to watch the game from the box because like I can't even go out there. If I go out there, they're going to start throwing stuff at me. And that could be like a situation in and of itself. So I'd rather just leave to be on the safe side. So they got him out to safety. And that's kind of where the vlog, or I don't know what Speed calls them, lives, chats, whatever. That's where his chat ended. And so it wasn't as bad as people made it seem. It literally is like literally the last 5 minutes of the whole thing. Like he had a beautiful time in Algeria. And I think that's the part people are missing. It's like you eat the meat and spit out the bones. If you guys come around me and know this page, I say that a lot. So that's kind of what I would say about what happened to iShowSpeed there. And then the next day I watched, because I was like just enamored at that point. I'm like, all these kids is following this little boy. So I went deep dive. Like I saw that he has issues with his mama and he loved his daddy and his dad was there to support him, but his mom tried to kick him out and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, as a mom myself, like who wants their kid brain rotting doing video games all day? Of course you're gonna get mad. Not saying it's cool that she was kicking him out, But he started failing in school. Like, I watched an interview with him on like a late night show. He was saying he was failing in school. So if your son is failing in school, they're not doing well, they're brain riding all day on this thing called Twitch, which wasn't even a thing. iShowSpeed showed the possibility of what it could be, right? Not showed the possibility of what it could be, but it wasn't that at that time. So, and obviously Aiden Ross and all those kids, they showed what it became, but it wasn't that. They were like the Jackie Anna of that thing back then. So for the parents to put so much energy and stake into supporting their child at that time, I can understand a mom saying you're not going to be a statistic, because the statistics for black men a lot of times is either dead or in jail. So it's like, no, you're in the gamer ideology of gamer wasn't even there. It's like, get your education or move the hell on. So can you guys hear me? Hold on, I didn't even check my microphone, honey. I just thought about it. Oh yeah, it's on. Yeah, it's on. So from that perspective, and I can't see y'all tweets. Let me see the show. Oh no, all right. Okay, I'm on Restream, so I'm not on my typical thing. Next time I'll bring my iPad so I can see both and I can see what you guys are seeing, because it's kind of nerve-wracking when you're doing the whole stream and you don't even know if you're live. It say live though. It say live. Yeah, it say streaming. So I'm gonna take its word for it. So okay, we'll keep going. You guys will let me know if you guys are having any issues with hearing me or anything. So with that in mind, when I think of Speed, the next day he ended up going to Morocco, and I'm telling y'all, I went on that because I was enamored at the possibility of what social media is. Like, I'm a millennial, but I'm one of those millennials. I've been old since my whole life. You know the type of people that got an old soul, they say. I never tried to be like a young person. Even when I was young, I was old. Like, so I never was into the things, but I did say, because my mom used to never be into like music or hip and all that stuff. And I used to say to my mom, oh, I hate that you don't know any of the new songs. Like, I'm gonna be the type of mom that know all the songs. Yeah, right. I don't know nothing. I'm just like my mama. I don't know nothing that's gonna. I know. Last night, I kid you not. Last night, I was listening to Mariah Carey, and we gotta talk about that. I might talk about that next. I was listening to Mariah Carey like from 10 p.m. to like 2 a.m. and I had to stop myself. And let me tell you, I'll give y'all a deep dive of what I was doing last night. And y'all should do this too. But back to Speed. So the next day he goes to Morocco. This is after he leaves Nigeria, had a terrible time. He basically was like, I think usually he's in stream and probably goes dinner and relaxes and just has a few minutes to himself. This boy was like, I'm getting the hell out of here. So he got out of there that night. And the next morning he woke up in Morocco. And so while in Morocco, and I love that because it reminds me of when I was at my job. My point is, immediately they gave him a drink of water. And it reminded me of my job. I used to work for international exchange student program where I work with international students from 90 plus global partners and this and this and this and this. I had a lot of jobs, y'all. But more life experience to tell y'all about. So this particular job that I had, one of the partners came from South Africa, and she had been in meetings all day long. So when I seen her, she was sitting like this, right? She had her head, she was just so tired. I said, do you want a water? She got up her eyes and she was like, thank you so much. You are the first person to offer me water all day. And then everybody, all my bosses and everything, like, oh, you want a water? You want a water? Speaking of water, did y'all see that video of it's viral going around where there's this girl, she's in London and she's asking people if they can get by her water because she's thirsty, and every single white person said no. And then somebody in the comments said, ask black people. Almost every single black person except one black guy, and then even the guy who was with him ended up helping, but that particular guy she asked did not help. But every other person, about 6-7 black people, they all helped. That is the beauty of our people, and that's the point of iShowSpeed. That's what he's seeing. So as soon as he got to Morocco, they offer him a water in this cute little like show kind of situation. It was really cute. Like, this guy had on just dressed up in all his traditional garb, and he had like the water pipe, and he poured the water and made it look really magical. And then from there, iShowSpeed went to the game. So it was supposed to be, I can't remember the team. I think it was Morocco versus Senegal. I want to say. Senegal. So the Morocco and Senegal competed for the championship, the AF something something something. Don't quote me. In that particular soccer game, Morocco did Morocco lose? Yeah, Morocco lost. And iShowSpeed felt so bad. He was like, I thought I was gonna be our good luck charm, but he got to dap everybody up as they ran into the field, both teams. And so the next day he went to Senegal. I believe it might be Senegal, it might be somewhere else, but I believe it's Senegal. And then he, had a beautiful time there as well. And so after that, I didn't really watch any more of the new stuff. I did watch a few minutes of the Nigeria. I watched a few minutes of him in Senegal, but I didn't watch it in totality. I get the gist now, right, of who he is. So, but I did go back to watch like one of the first episodes of him in Africa, which is when he went to Kenya. When I tell you, while he was in Kenya, like, and at this point I watched a few, like I was binging. I watched Chile. I watched when he went to like wherever he was in South America. I watched him in Africa. I watched a few different things, a few American things. I watched a few little videos on like his security guards and how they have been treating him and how professional they are. And so I was like, I seen his like antics and all his like is drama, right? This like intensity that he has. So watching him, when I clicked on the video finally of Kenya, he was so calm. Not saying he still was speed, but he was like very calm version of himself. And I was like, see, that's what Africa does. His skin looked clearer, his shoulders looked relaxed. He like was the first time he was able to exhale. And I think that is what he's showing children like who are watching him and teenagers who are watching him and seeing how beautiful this culture is in Africa and seeing how beautiful we as Black people are in general. So it's really nice to see him on this trip. I've enjoyed watching every single moment of it. And so if you guys haven't seen any of his videos or know who he is, yeah, he's like a Twitcher. And he's like a super duper famous like kid right now. Like I think him and Kai are probably neck and neck. And I know he won Streamer of the Year. Kai won everything else out that mug. So they're like, number one and number two, coincidingly. They've even had streams together and gaming moments together. So pretty cool to see young Black men having the opportunity to do something, outside of just basketball and entertainment. I mean, this is entertainment, but it's like it's under their own. It's not even entertainment. It's their real life. So that is cool. Just being themselves. Like how the Kardashians are famous for being famous. They're kind of in the same boat. Famous for being famous, and it's about damn time. Now, can we get a Black woman that's famous for being famous? Because we always gotta work. So that is what I saw this week with iShowSpeed that I wanted to tell y'all about. I think yesterday we talked about his and hers a little bit. Let me go to another window. I'll go to Joy Comes in the Morning here. This is just me. So this section, usually when I do my Tuesdays at 2, I didn't change some of the tickers. This is like the Joy Comes in the Morning section. And here I basically like just give positive information or a positive quote and things like that. I ain't got nothing because I literally just popped up on here. But that's what this section is usually for. And we do like a little meditation, a little affirmation. I will give you one. Actually, I do have a Joy Come in the Morning right now. So I was listening to Serena Williams and Venus Williams, and they were talking like to Sha'Carri Richardson. And speaking of speed, and she's the speedy girl who's like not famous for being famous. She's famous for her hard work and like busting butt on the track, right? So she's like one of those track stars right now. And she's very like talented. And she met with Serena and Venus, and she was like fangirling out, which was really fun to see because she's a young girl, and like I'm sure Serena and Venus being the only Black like superstars during their decade, like she was like so starstruck, and it was just a beautiful interview. And they were able to relate to her and like tell her, oh, how's your eating packages? And she's like, oh my God, like you guys know about all that? How's your sleeping? She's like, oh, everything like that is relatable. They basically ran the interview, but it was also a validating interview to like, I see you. You are not alone. The things that you go through, all of us athletes go through, and they talked about, just the struggles that she faces, her losing her mom, being raised by her grandmother, her having the shoulders of her whole family and her city on her back, just like all the things that, we go through as women, as Black women, and then as a mega superstar. She even talked about giving, shout outs to Black media when she was being disregarded by white media. Now she literally does her interviews first with Black media because they were the only ones that were still uplifting her through her trials and tribulations and stuff like that. So it was a beautiful interview, but nonetheless, I went on a deep dive of some other interviews with Serena and Venus, and Venus was basically saying how Serena has always been like very delusional, likely positive, and she was saying that. And Serena was like, yes, that is very true about me. She's like, she literally wakes up, and she's been doing this since she was a teenager. She wakes up every morning and she said, oh, I can't wait to find out what's good gonna happen to me today. And she said something good will happen to her that day. It doesn't matter if it's something small, like she said, like she might get free groceries from Uber, or she might find $1 on the ground. Like something good happens to her that day. Yeah, obviously, or she can win a grand championship, right? It can be anything minuscule or magnificent that happens to her. And she just basically says, you wait. True, I get some good news almost every day. I've kind of always been like that. I was watching Blue Eccentric the other day. She was talking about how some people are multipliers, and I guess this will lead us a little bit into the ace thing, the ace of it all. Excuse me. And she was talking about how Nick and Landry are multipliers, and how beautiful that when you are a multiplier, good things tend to come to you, and people who are around you get the overflow of the good that you multiply, right? And that's what Serena was essentially saying. She was like, and I started doing it at night. So I started saying, oh my God, I can't wait till tomorrow so I can find out what good is going to happen. So it makes me wake up like it's Christmas Day. I did it for since I've seen that video, probably like the last 2-3 weeks. Every day I get some kind of good news. Every single day. I'm like, oh my God. And the days that I forget, I be like, dang, I didn't do it. But not saying I didn't get anything good, but it just reminds me to always do it. Because it's like the good is just so. My mom also says a kind of a thing like that. She's like, find the good and praise it. Like see the good in the world and chase that thing. You find the good and praise it. And that's kind of the same thing, but it's an intentional praising of the good. Because what you're doing is you're setting the intention for the next day. So for me, I put it in my alarm clock and I say it at night. So at night before I go to bed, I go, oh, I can't wait till tomorrow to find out what this good thing is going to be. And it makes it feel like Christmas. Then I wake up, I read the alarm, and alarm clock says, something good will happen to me today. Because that's actually Serena Williams' quote. My quote is, I can't wait till tomorrow for something good to happen to me. Serena's actual quote is, I can't wait. I know something good is going to happen to me today, because she says it in the morning. So that's kind of how you can flip it and make it how you want to make it for your life, and how, what will calm your ease and bring and help you find the good and praise it, so to speak. So talking about Blue and the idea of multiplying things and multiplying energy, right? It reminded me of like the Ace interview. So in that interview, like I have a little bit of a different take than some people, like how they think he was a jerk, how he thinks, yeah, I enjoyed myself. I know Ace. Like I feel like we all have an Ace. We all have a little cousin or a little brother. I ain't got no little brother, but I got little cousins. I got little one, little jits that act like Ace. And I think a lot of Black men act like Ace at that age, at 23 years old. And I'm not excusing his behavior, but a lot of them are, the type of people who don't take the relationship serious, who jump in and out of the chase with women. Especially now, I remember I'm married now, but at the tail end of my like dating life, I remember like ghosting started being a thing. Like 2016 is when I got married, so ghosting started like just creeping in like that. You would say you used to have a talking stage, a dating stage, and then that was your boyfriend, and obviously it's either get married or break up. That's like how it used to be. And then at a certain place, it stopped being like a talking stage, a dating stage. It started being like a situationship stage, a ghosting stage, we talking stage again, we ghosting again. It started being complicated at the end. because people would just literally like meet somebody online, not like that person, and ghost them. Because you don't have to have a communication with a person you don't know. But back in the day, when you actually meeting people in real life, and you know their family, you know their cousins, you know know them, you're gonna run into them some way somehow. You probably aren't likely to ghost somebody. But if you know it's some person on the internet that you never met before, you might see them in 3-4 years at a Target. It doesn't matter. Like, you can ghost them. That's what makes the impersonal thing more harmful, because you are more willing to affect or hurt somebody because their feelings don't really matter anymore, because you don't know these people. So that's kind of what I feel like with Ace. Like, Ace and Shelly, yes, they were a beautiful couple, but I do feel like if Shelly and Ace would have popped off in the same way Nicolandria would did, which they could have if he would have played the game right. Which you can go watch Blue, and she discusses that. She breaks it down really nicely about how it would have, should have been a situation where if he would have just stayed the course and faked the funk, whatever he had to do to ride that Nicolandria train, he could have did it. But my mother always say, "What's in you gonna come out, right?" Who you are is going to come out, and never lay your pearls before swine. So he was the swan in that situation, laying, and Nicolandria was laying out their pearls for him, and he was not accepting of those pearls. He just wanted to defecate just like a pig on them pearls. So that's kind of like the lesson that he has to learn, and has to get his ego in check, because I think a lot of what the thing is with Ace is he is ego based, ego driven, and he feels like he is the prize. And when you meet a man that feels like they the prize, ooh, that's a dangerous combination, boy, because they feel like they're entitled to your spirit. They siphon your energy, and it comes off extremely narcissistic. And I think that's kind of what people want to place Ace at, but I feel like he has just a lot of growing up to do, and he'll get there when he get there. You know what I mean? I feel like he had some good at the core of who he is. I feel like it's also the family enabling, especially that sister. I feel like they enable him a lot, and they've probably bigged him up in his head a lot, because he is the celebrity of his family. He's been doing orating and speaking since he was a child, a very cute little kid, and so he's grown up knowing that he was going to be somebody. Knowing, you better be somebody. You wanna go somewhere. You better wake up and pay attention. Y'all remember that? So he was one of them kids that you knew probably was in the smart classes, probably were just the superstar in the sense. And so he has a little bit of entitlement where he didn't feel like um he needed to impress the Love Island people. He just needed to come in, produce this show, and be the star of the show, because he just knew they casted him as the star. Because if you think about it, he was one of the first boys to walk in. I think him and Nick, right? Or him and Taylor, I'm not sure. Somebody with the Similac on their mouth. I think it was Nick. And so they knew those two were going to be polarizing personalities, just like Olandria and Shelly. They always bring the stars in first. Olandria and Shelly were the stars of the show, obviously. And that just ended up taking a turn because of um his ego. And unfortunately, he threw his friends under the bus, and that's just not something you do. And I think as he gets older and as he grows up, he's going to learn more and more lessons about why you stick with the people who do good by you. If somebody do good by you, you do good by them. Treat people how you want to be treated. And I think that's just going to be a lesson for Ace, and I think that'll be something that he'll continue to learn the rest of his life. Now, this documentary, like I said, I enjoy getting to know him, getting to know the background. I didn't beat him up too bad for what he was doing, because it is content. And I was looking at it, if you're thinking about it in terms of numbers, he had, like, last time I checked, 900 plus views, 900,000 plus views in like a day. So he knows eyeballs are on him, and he's just trying to do anything he can right now to clean up his image. What he can do to clean up his image is to be more apologetic to the Nicolandria situation and to take accountability. I think the moment Ace, and he's probably not going to do it today or tomorrow. He's probably gonna do it in a couple of years, right? And he's going to look back at the whole Love Island situation of it all, realize his immaturity, and realize how he did and dogged out that black lady, and realize how impactful that is to black women in America, right? And realize how that was unnecessary for him to do. And then once he comes to the plate and has accountability for himself, and take atonement with himself, then I think the ties will shift. Will he be popular on TikTok and do his little dances? Yes. May he get a redemption arc? Yes. But I think the minute that he takes true ownership in who in a stake in what he's done and how disrespectful he was in that Speedy interview, I think the ties will definitely and certainly shift for Ace. So that's my 2 bits and 2 cents on Ace, and my little bit of sense on iShowSpeed. So that is my mic drop for today. I don't have much, but I know I love you. So I will talk to you guys hopefully tomorrow, maybe the next day. Just turn on your notifications. I've enjoyed this little mic drop with you. It was impromptu, was not planned. I just said I'm going to come chat with you guys. I have about 5 more minutes that I could give you guys if you want. And I guess we can talk about, because we talked about Christy Scott. It is Christy Scott. She changed her name to Christy Sarah about 2 days in a row. So I don't know if I want to talk about that anymore. iShowSpeed, and I'm trying to think, because now I'm off the cuff. I don't know what else is popping out there right now. I think that's it for me today. I'm gonna relax, listen to Mariah Carey. Ha 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 ha. So we're gonna do a deep dive on Mariah because all right. So no, I was listening to Mariah Carey yesterday. I was telling y'all from 10 to like 2 o'clock in the morning. And it just, I don't know. I started listening to I Give My All to Have. And I also, obviously, I'm a Mariah Carey fan, but I'm a late fan. So by the time she was like famous, I had just got, started. So I didn't know her lore, like of all the past stuff. Oh. So I feel like I started being a Mariah like around Rainbow. But there's so much before Rainbow. Oh my God. So obviously I know like certain songs. Hero, My All, which is like pre-Rainbow. But like Rainbow was like the first Mariah Carey CD that I personally ever owned. Like, you know what I mean? And then I went back and I got because Mariah always said her favorite album is Butterfly. So I went back and got Butterfly. But that's it. I didn't know Daydream. I didn't even know she had a Mariah Carey album, Mariah Carey. What? I was just like, are you kidding me? And it just was so fun to go see her like albums from like previous years to now. I was like, this girl got it. Like, Mariah really is that girl. Why didn't I know? Nobody told me. So I had no idea she was that way. I had no idea she was that popular. Yeah. So I had no idea she was that popular. And I didn't know that Mariah had such a huge catalog. Okay, so now thinking of that, I'm gonna do a deep dive. I'm gonna compare, because what I was doing last night, unintentionally by the way, is I was looking at from the Mariah Carey album. I went all the way up until Rainbow, because obviously I know Rainbow, so I was like, I'm gonna stop there. But I could have kept going, y'all. Mariah got mad albums, mad songs. Like, and she only have 12 point something million followers on YouTube. I said, this is crazy. She deserves everything. She deserves more. She don't gotta do nothing. She literally, what Jay-Z said, Myth Bleak don't ever have to rap again, and he'll be covered or something like that in his song. That's how I feel about Mariah. Mariah does never have to make an album again in her life, and she will be set. Okay? Mariah loves music, and she likes to work, because this new album, Here for It All, she didn't have to do that. This is just literally icing on the cake. And it's crazy to see how she has documented her life and how lonely she was. Oh my God, because I read the book, and obviously when I read her book, I didn't know all the songs before. Like, I was waiting for the songs that I knew. Like, okay. And so she was telling like the Derek Jeter part. I didn't even know that was about Derek Jeter necessarily. Like, I was like kind of, I have to read the Mariah Carey's book. So that's what I'm doing. I'm reread Mariah Carey's book, listen to the lyrics, because she's already done the work for us. She sings certain songs in the book. And I have the audio and the book. So she sings certain songs in the book already, so I can put 2 and 2 together very easily. But then I also want to break down like how sad she was. Like, I was listening to some of the songs, and then you can tell when things were like progressing for her, like that Fantasy. I was looking at that. So that Fantasy, go look at Fantasy by Mariah Carey. So there's a scene with ODB, and then there's a version without ODB, right? Oh Dirty Bastard. The video with ODB has a clown chained up to the pole, right? The video without ODB, the clown is the star of the show. I think the clown is Tommy Mottola. Little subtle things like that she's done in her video. Or like I can't think of the maybe butterfly video, like when the horse is running, she's the horse, she's the butterfly, she's really the butterfly, right? Because she's in the tree watching over the horses run free, and she's the butterfly that is stuck in his cage. She's wishing she could be out while she's watching these horses ride free, and then at the end she is the butterfly and jumps on the horse. So just little stuff like that. I just love like how intentional she was. She even had a song with Taj Mori. I mean, he's not featured, but he's like a little boy in the video. And it's like almost like a heal the world type video where she's talking about why can't we come together? Why is there black and why is there so many destruction and race? And it's like, it's so crazy because it's so perfect for today's society. So neither here nor there. Parents are running in. I ain't running. I'm about to go walk because last time I waited out there early, they had us freezing our booties off. So I will see you guys next time. I think I'm going to leave it there, and we're going to do like a Mariah Carey deep dive. We're going to listen to the audio book as much as I can, obviously, without getting copywritten. And then we're going to, or I'll just kind of read some of this book, and then we'll talk about the music behind it, and I'll just read you lyrics because obviously Mariah gonna take my video down if I actually play her songs. But you know, we'll do that together because I feel like that is gonna be so fun to talk about what she overcame and how instrumental she was in, I'm sure, a lot of youth lives at that point to save themselves. Like she was writing songs like stay alive, like don't die, be here with us. And that is like so profound for her to be that young. She was like 19, 20 years old, writing these deep rooted songs. And it just shows how much she had been through in her childhood to have those type of lyrics. Of course, she had help with songwriters. Don't let her no, I know, I read into that too. Like the guy, the Russian guy, he helped, but a lot of the story is her. You can literally hear her story, especially once you know her story and read her book, like, and you go back and listen to the lyrics of her songs. Sweet poetry, babe. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I think that is a great place to leave us off today as well. So I'll see you guys next time. We will just talk about, talk about what we talk about. So as always, I always say, don't forget your morals, your values, and your principles. It's your girl, Nico Nicole, and I'll see you guys next time. I want to give this girl a like. Bye, guys. Take care and good night. Thank you for joining me, too. I've been enjoying these quick little whips. Bye. And how do I end the live? Just like